welcome to Series 2 of New World Order. Donald Trump has been investigated by the FBI. The FBI raided his lawyer. They suspect that Trump's lawyer has paid off a porn star. It must be amazing the first time you have to ask your lawyer to do something like that. Gary, you did a really great job that time the neighbour's branch was overhanging our carport. I need a hooker's legs breaking. How hard can it be to assassinate Trump? Surely half of his security are concentrating on stopping Melania from making a break for it. Israel this week shot dead 58 Palestinian protesters, wounded another 2,000 people in what the British media disgracefully described as clashes. It's not clashes. If one side has sniper rifles and the other side has a few catapults and slingshots, you're basically murdering the Ewoks. We've got the royal wedding tomorrow. Meghan Markle will become the Duchess of Sussex. That's got to hurt. You grow up wanting to be a princess, you end up sounding like a pub in Eastbourne. It's going to be a traditional wedding. Something old, Prince Philip. Something new, the royal baby. Something borrowed, the wealth of India. And something blue, the Queen's feet. Okay, on with the show. Joining me tonight to discuss the week's big topics are Sarah Pascoe, Catherine Ryan and data journalist Mona Chalabi. Good to see you. Have you been watching the news this week?
No, but I have been on Twitter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I tell you what I love, gammon. I love it. You know, the insult for white people, gammon. I love it so much.
It's the term for old white racist dudes who go red in
I've
the
just
face.
extended it to all white people. I think you're lucky that you're Scottish, because you're white, but also, like, you've been oppressed. If you're, like, a white English person, you're so aware that, like, we've done the worst things throughout history to people of every other nation, and we continue to benefit from those things. And I'm not saying I don't want to be white. I want to be a little bit white, but then also a little bit blue to show how sad I am about the atrocities committed by white people. And then also a little bit red to show how embarrassed I am that white people don't do enough to acknowledge those atrocities. So yeah, I'm going to paint my face red, white and blue just so that everyone knows I'm not racist.
That they were interviewing like white guys about do you feel racially abused?
And some of them said yes.
I noticed almost the very same thing, Sarah. I'm also white and a woman. There was an amazing video released by Childish Gambino, This is America. It tackled important issues, racism, police brutality, gun control. It was great. And immediately it was colonized by a white woman who remade the video about herself.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and why do we have to keep doing this? White women, just cornrows, mine. Native American headdress at a festival, mine. Sexual autonomy, mine. Equal pay, mine. Not everything is for us.
Now, first up, in 4 years' time, Labour will lose Britain's last ever general election. I doubt the Labour Party, as it's led now, is even really left-wing. It's probably more a party of the centre-left, opposing as much as anything its own MPs who are centre-right. It's been frustrating to see how they've handled questions of anti-Semitism, because if you're going to become a government, and particularly a socialist government, you're going to have to answer a lot of questions. You'd hope that one of the simpler questions might be, do you hate Jews? But I do think Corbyn handles it badly. I mean, I think his heart is in the right place, but anytime he talks about it, it goes, yes, anti-Semitism is a terrible thing. I mean, we need to find a solution. Not a solution. Not a solution. Joining us to discuss Labour's many problems, please welcome David Baddiel. Thanks for coming, man. Have you been following Labour's hatred of Jews?
I have. Jeremy Corbyn does do a thing of saying always, you know, it's terrible, anti-Semitism and other racisms. And I wonder why he does that. Because if you go to an oncologist, you don't really want him to say, well, I'm going to cure cancer and shingles, don't worry, it's going to be all sorted out. Just stick to the fucking cancer, I think. He always says that, though, and that's right, that is a problem, I think. Corbyn can't quite bring himself to say, I'm just bothered about Jews.
I think that's absolutely the problem. It's not just that they're bad at dealing with this, which they are, but also that it makes you think they're sort of bad at dealing with things that come up. And if you're going to sell yourself as a radical alternative, you've got to present yourself as good as dealing with things, even difficult things.
And I think being passionate about it.
Yeah, he does say there's no room in the Labour Party for anti-Semites, and that might be because it's full.
They've got enough already. But Jeremy Corbyn is as North London as fair trade cocaine. Since when is he anti-Semitic?
Who knows if Jeremy himself is anti-Semitic? I don't think he probably is. What I think is he just comes from a place.
He's been connected and in the same place, like lots of politicians, with people who definitely are anti-Semitic. And I think because of Israel-Palestine, which is something that Jeremy Corbyn really, really heartily believes in, he has been in a room with lots of people who are very anti-Israel, and some of those people are racist against Jewish people.
When they do polling to find out whether or not people are anti-Semitic, they literally put these statements to them saying, do you believe that Jews run the world? And it's statements like that that are indicative of anti-Semitism.
Yes, 29% of people who voted for Corbyn in the Labour Party think the world is controlled by a secret global elite. And that global elite are Jews.
It's just so confusing because I always understood Labour to be the non-racist party.
Yes.
And it's very off-brand for them.
The off-brand thing is that's why a lot of left-wing people refuse to see it, and why it's complicated to talk about anti-Semitism and other racisms, because it's almost saying it's not really a proper racism. So all Jews will be called, like any racist will say they're vermin, or they're thieving, or they're lying. They'll also get this one specific thing that most other races don't get, which is we are also secretly controlling the global agenda and, of course, moneyed and privileged. So it's a high and low status by which we get attacked. And that is why the left feel that it's kind of okay. Also, when we're talking about anti-Semitism on the left, obviously it exists incredibly on the right as well.
And then there was this complication because there were people that felt like this issue was being used as an excuse by some people to be anti-Labour. But then they became thinking, stop talking about this, we need to get elected first. Let's not address this issue. And that is really problematic in itself.
Yeah, some people think, and they're probably right, this is being used to sort of smear the Labour Party and Corbyn. But you know what? Anything bad that happens to a political party will be used by people to beat that political party. Windrush was being used very successfully by the Labour Party to say that the Tories are fucked up. Right? That's good, but it doesn't mean it's not true. And no one was saying, oh, it's not real. The racism isn't real about Windrush. But a lot of people sort of do feel that about anti-Semitism.
Well, they were saying it was blown out of proportion.
So Labour has gone for Jewish people. The Tories are deporting black people. What's UKIP got to do right now?
They're like banning the burqa, and people are like, who cares? I can deport black people.
An important point, actually. When I talk about anti-Semitism online or racism against Jews, some people will say it's a religion, not a race. Now, that is wrong for a number of reasons. I'm an atheist, but the Gestapo would shoot me tomorrow. I mean, possibly today. I don't know. I might be able to hold them for a bit. But that's a very important point, because what those people are doing when they say that is they're trying to downgrade anti-Semitism to religious bigotry, because they know that racism is a really bad thing.
It's just using semantics to deny something's happening.
Exactly.
Well, you see a lot of that in Islamophobia as well, don't you? So like Tommy Robinson or someone will go, no, it's not their race I'm against, it's their repressive religion. It's very disrespectful to slags and benders.
Yeah.
The danger is anti-Semitism isn't just a problem within the Labour Party. Globally, people feel it's acceptable to be openly anti-Semitic, as this American news report shows.
It was the Nazi names that Heath Campbell says got his children taken away in the first place. So where's the strategy in wearing a Nazi uniform to ask a judge for child visitation?
Do you think having a uniform will help or hurt your cause? Well, you know what? The world needs to see who I am. I'm not a bad person. It's not what's on the outside of you. It's what's on the inside.
And the Fuhrer's uniform of a Hitler's order group he founded, Heath Campbell left the Hunterdon County Courthouse frustrated at an apparent mix-up in hearing dates.
I feel there's one thing a Nazi would have been, it's on time.
You must have a really good inside.
Yeah.
To have the confidence to dress that offensively on the outside.
I know about that guy. He's changed his name to Heath Hitler. And the reason he's in court is because his children are being taken away because he tried to have a birthday party for his son, Adolf Hitler Campbell. And therefore writing Happy Birthday Adolf Hitler Campbell wasn't allowed by the cake maker, although I think Walmart did do it eventually. And the most extraordinary things about him, he's written Mein Kampf 2 and Mein Kampf 3. Now, I didn't know it was a franchise.
So, perhaps part of the problem is those raising the issue of anti-Semitism might be listened to, as Maureen Littman found out during this turbulent interview with Robert Peston.
If you believe that all Jews are Zionists and therefore must be hated, if you believe all Jews are capitalists and therefore must be hated, if you believe that all Jews are bankers and bankers are horrible people, then it's terribly easy to jump onto that bandwagon.
And we all have moments where we don't see the wrongs that people do clearly enough. I mean, some people would be critical of the fact you appeared in a Polanski film, somebody who is known to be an abuser of a child.
Gosh.
No?
Well, if we're doing child abuse now, that's a whole
No,
different
no,
subject.
but what I'm saying is,
look,
we all
don't
turn a blind
know.
eye sometimes, don't we?
Oh, God. This is the cartoon. This is not the act. This is if you don't do anything, you
I'm
can
going to be
go.
amazingly rude because I've been told
That's
we've run out of
amazingly
time,
rude,
which is
Robert.
terrible. It's all we've got time for.
Don't clap him, what a pillow. I love the excuse where he's like, some people say, you said it, you said it. You're blaming not the man who raped a child, you're blaming a woman who worked with him. Yeah, it's
Awkwardly
awful.
as well, the movie she did with Polanski was about the Holocaust.
It was The Pianist, yeah. The Pianist. Yeah. That is awkward. Because Robert Peston is Jewish, so it makes it even more complicated.
I'm happy that we're talking a lot about anti-Semitism now and the problem does need to be talked about. I was happy to see lots of Jewish people gather in Parliament Square because I hadn't seen that many disappointed Jews since I was introduced to my boyfriend's family. So it's like,
You're converting, aren't you?
slowly.
To a Islam.
I just want to rule the world.
From my point of view, this is interesting because I don't know if people may know this, I am married to Morwenna Banks, who is Mummy Pig. That's why she's the voice of Mummy Pig, and that is fucking complicated for a Jewish bloke.
What is Mummy Pig?
What is Mummy Pig?
Peppa Pig.
From Peppa Pig.
Oh, okay.
Peppa Pig. It's not just some terrible gammon like.